What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, and I am sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Nothing much. That's like our intro every single week. Does not change.
So we got to come up with something different. Do you want different?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But first, like we do every week, before we get into anything, this podcast is brought to you by TrustIncUSA.com. That's Trust, I-N-K, USA.com. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a mobile notary agency. We notarize documents. We do a lot of work with title companies, law firms, individuals. So if you're needing a document notarized, check us out on our website.
That's TrustIncUSA.com. And you can go there. You can find the legal services that we offer. You can send Sonja a message so you can hire us to do any notarizing that you need. You can also go to oppositesattractpod.com, and from there you can support the show. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the podcast, whether you listen on Spotify, Android, iTunes, all that stuff. And if you click on the support the show tab at the top, you'll see our Amazon affiliate link. So anything that you buy on Amazon, it doesn't cost you anymore, but when you click through our link, it helps out the show.
Yes.
And then you can also see the link for Trust Inc. on there also.
Yes. So we have, my mother-in-law and your mom is here. It's super exciting to have her.
Yeah, she just got here yesterday.
Right. She's from Florida, so...
Yeah.
You know, we see her when we can see her. She usually comes down for the kids' birthdays.
Yeah, for the summertime. Yeah, well, Audrey's birthday's in the summer, and then sometimes she'll come for her birthday and Joey's birthday, which Joey's birthday, our son's birthday, is tomorrow, which we'll be celebrating today. Yeah. And then my mom's birthday is on the 11th, and she'll be here for that. So
yes. So we're going to do a lot of celebrating this week and next week as well.
We have something else to celebrate this week. We have been podcasting for 6 months.
What?
Yeah. This is our 6-month podcast.
That's super.
What do you think? How do you feel?
The time went by really quick.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we just kind of made a routine of it, and we do it every week, and here we are, 6 months later.
And here we are.
In our new studio.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing is that my mom was the first guest that we had on the podcast. And then she'll be on the podcast next week.
Yes.
So she'll be our first guest in the new studio. Her and my stepdad.
Which
he's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And they're total opposite. So that's going to be interesting to hear like how they met, what brought them together, and all that good stuff. And when you meet them, you'll definitely see the difference in their personalities. Like my mom's real bubbly. Like she's like me. She's real bubbly and
I'm more like him.
Happy-go-lucky and Miguel's
he fixes everything, even though he's I'm pretty good at fixing stuff.
Yeah.
He's on a different level.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we were having problems with our bathroom door. Like it wasn't locking.
Yeah.
So he's laying down. My father-in-law, he's laying down. Miguel's over here making racket. a lot of noise.
Sounds like somebody's breaking out of jail.
And he's like, who's trying to break out of jail? He comes out.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is go to you because he sees that you're working on something to, help you out. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, he's on a different level. Well, I mean, we can talk about it next week. Yeah. When it comes to fixing stuff, it's different.
Yeah,
but anyway.
You should do like a handyman business. We should talk about that. Because you know how he's already,
Yeah, I don't know.
He owns his own business.
If that would be his thing.
Well, we can talk about that next week.
So yeah, how's your week, babe? You have a good week?
It's been great. Like it's been mind-blowing. I mean, I'm seeing everything that's unfolding with Trust Inc.
Yeah.
Did some marketing this week. Went and stopped by some title companies and some title companies that we have already done work with and did some pop buys and made some more connections. And the week was going great until I woke up Wednesday morning. And Wednesday morning, I take that day off to go spend with the kids and with you. And we hang out and do whatever, whatever comes about. And I woke up sicker than
a dog. Sicker than a dog.
Are you kidding me?
We got a dog right here.
That day I scheduled, my massage. So she was coming over and I'm like, oh, I'm going to totally enjoy this because, in the morning, nobody's here. And it just was.
Yeah.
It was challenging because I'm laying face down.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody listening, they know how it goes. If you have kids and they go to school and then they start getting the sniffles and then the other kid starts getting the sniffles. And then I'm like, you guys better not get me sick.
You guys were all sick,
before you know
though.
it, we all get sick.
Yeah. But I thought I was clear.
Yeah.
Clear. In the clear zone.
Not so much. I think you got it worse than everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like, Thursday came around. I'm like, because I already had I had an appointment scheduled, a luncheon scheduled. Yeah. I had to go out to the West Valley and do the marketing. And so I'm like, nope. I got up, did what I had to do. I could have made all the excuses in the world.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but sometimes
I finished it and I felt great knowing that even I pushed through it. I did what I had to do because I could have easily just said, you know what, I'm not feeling good today. I'm still not feeling good. I'm not going to do it, but I did it. And it felt good that I pushed myself to finish what I started,
That reminds me of when I used to run all the time. Mm-hmm. And there was a time when I got sick. And I was thinking to myself, like, is it good? Like, if you have a cold, can you still push yourself and run the way I was running? Mm-hmm. So I just started looking it up. And there are certain times when you got to stop. Mm-hmm. You got to stop, rest, get better. And then there's times when it's like, hey, you can still work.
Yeah.
Well,
see, and this is the thing. Like, I talked to my mom and she's like, what are you doing? And I told her, she's like, you need to slow down. You need to stop.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I feel that I have to stop, then I'm going to stop. Like, if it was super bad, like Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was my day off.
I didn't even cook. Day off.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Nito, I had the food ready, prep, but he cooked
Our nephew, yeah.
And I totally just took the day off. And Thursday, I'm like, I'm feeling better. Not feeling 100, but I'm going to do what I have to do. And I did. And usually I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because but I'm working on pushing myself.
That's good.
To
pushing yourself farther.
Yep. Yeah.
It's kind of like that book that we've been listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it hurts,
keep going.
like working out is still pushing yourself, but not to the point to where Goggins is nuts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a different animal. He's a different animal. Yeah. But still, check out that book. So there was something that I had mentioned on either the last podcast or the one before. It was like right at the end. I just kind of snuck it in. But we were talking about how I was going through YouTube and I saw that we got a couple thumbs down.
Oh, we got more than one now?
Yeah. Well, I thought we only had one. And then I checked on some older videos. And they're going back and hating in the past, which is pretty cool.
Up.
Which, thanks for watching, whoever that douche is.
It's probably somebody that knows us.
You know what? Give us thumbs down. I don't give a shit.
But it's probably somebody that knows us that, is hating on us.
Good luck breaking our... We've been hated on by better people than whoever that is.
How can you say that? You don't even know who it is.
Doesn't matter.
It might be Oprah.
I don't give a shit. Whatever. But, yeah, so we got a couple thumbs down, which is cool. But what I was thinking, obviously, everybody knows Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Like the song that, you know what? Let me look it up real quick. That song, Baby, I think that's the one that made him famous.
Baby. Oh, wait, I was going to sing the old school one. Baby, baby.
Yeah.
Baby, don't leave me.
Oh, jeez.
That's not Justin Bieber.
No, that's not it. And my internet sucks. So anyway, but that song has, I don't know how many views. Well, it's got 2.1 billion views, and I can't play it. But it changed. It has 10 million thumbs down.
Wow.
And it has 12 million thumbs up. But there was a point when it had more thumbs down than thumbs up.
Right.
And it still had billions of views. So for the haters, like, who's winning? You fucking jerk offs are in your basement clicking thumbs down while Justin Bieber's touring the world, so
Yeah.
Keep them coming. Who cares? So,
See, I don't know. I'm not even looking at that because
no, I just happened to see. I was like, oh, I actually kind of got excited that I
you?
saw the thumb. I was like, oh yeah, we got a thumbs down. We're
that's
doing
so
something
crazy.
But
well, that's kind of the thing. Like once you get big, I mean, people are going to be talking shit. Like
fine.
they just are. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be talking shit about me. They're going to be talking shit about you. I don't
Catch
want
me
to see
outside.
it. I don't want to
that?
see it. Shut your face, Bill Burr.
That's not even Bill Burr.
That's something he would say.
No. Anyway, but so I was listening to another podcast earlier this week, and it's somebody that we haven't met yet, but he's a cousin in our family, and he's like the biggest comedian in Puerto Rico, or probably Latin America. Like I was just listening to it. He said that he's in the top 100 of all comedy podcasts, and his is in Spanish, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But they were telling a story about there's this farmer, and he's got this horse, and it's his favorite horse. It's like the hardest working horse that he has, and it falls into this hole, and it falls into a hole that it can't get out of, and it's the best horse he's got, and they're looking for the horse. They go, they can't find it. They start searching, and they find the horse inside this hole, and it's a deep hole.
Okay.
And they're like, what are we going to do? Like, that horse is super heavy. I don't know how we're going to get the horse out of that hole. The horse can't get out. And somebody goes to the guy that's with the owner is like, well, the horse is going to die down there. Like, the horse isn't hurt. The horse is fine, but we just can't get him out.
Right.
So what are we going to do? And he's like, I mean, we should probably just bury the horse, because...
Alive?
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to bury the horse because there's nothing they can
bury the horse
just
alive.
listen, all right? So they're like, yeah, we can't get it out, so we're going to start to bury the horse. And the farmer's like, that's the best horse that I have. So they start shoveling and burying the horse, and the dirt is falling on top of the horse.
Well,
and the horse
is alive.
Shaking it off, because obviously the dirt's falling on it. It's shaking it off. And they're like, yeah, he keeps shaking off the dirt, and they're like, yeah, just keep burying it. He's like, that's, we got to see if we can get it out. And they're like, there's no way. So they just keep burying it, keep burying it. The horse keeps shaking it off and shaking it off. But as it's shaking it off, it's stepping up and it's compacting the dirt. And they keep trying to bury this horse, but the horse keeps shaking off the dirt and stepping up on top of it.
Okay.
Until finally the horse can jump out of the dirt.
Yeah.
And it's safe. And they were talking about, like, even when their podcast has been around for 10 years, and they were like, there's people that try to throw dirt on you, and they're hoping that they're going to bury you. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah. How do you like the story now? Well, a second ago you were talking shit.
I'm just like, how are you going to bury a dead horse?
All of a sudden, now you're snapping. Oh, that's so deep. Now you're into it. So, but I mean, it's true though.
Yeah.
So those little thumbs down that we're getting, there's a little bit of dirt.
Just shake it off.
And we just shake it off and step up to the next thing. So fuck it. If you're doing something, who cares? And somebody says something, who cares? Like, I heard it in Legal Shield before. Like, a lot of times people, it's not like that they don't want to see you do well.
Yeah.
But if you do well, you're going to eventually have to leave some people behind.
Yeah.
Like, when you're trying to do something, you can't just take everybody with you all at once.
Right.
Sometimes you have to leave everybody behind and have success so that you can go back and bring people with you.
Right.
But if you try to take them with you when you're doing it, you're never going to make it.
Yep.
And people realize sometimes that if you take off, they're going to be left behind. And they don't want you to leave them behind. Right. So maybe it may be like a subconscious thing, not even like that they don't want to, like, subconsciously, I guess maybe they don't want to see you succeed. But
yeah. I'm reading the book from Ed Cartoli, that New Earth.
Yeah.
And it talks about ego and how to recognize when it's your ego interfering with a decision or an action or certain feelings that are coming about. And it's super deep. Like, I have to keep
Were you
going
snapping
back.
the whole time?
Keep going back because it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a book or an audio that I'm going to have to listen to like over and over again. But it's very interesting. It talks about parenting, when you're in a relationship, dealing with other people around you, you know, and being how to identify whether it's truly what the ego working on your behalf, like your ego, and it separates you from your ego.
Yeah.
So you're able to identify it. Anyways, you should take a listen.
No, it's cool. That it's something interesting. It's funny because the Jocko book, the kids book that I'm reading with them, that's the same thing that they're on right now. And they're talking about the ego. And you have to have an ego. Like you can't just not, because if you don't, then you don't have, at least this is what he was talking about in the book, you don't have any self-confidence. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be confident in yourself. And part of that is your ego that gives you confidence.
Yeah.
But you have to balance it out because once it starts going into the other side, now you're overconfident and you feel like you're the best and nobody can beat you.
You're superior.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And then you stop working and somebody else that is confident, but they know they can get better, they keep their ego in check and then they kick your ass.
Yeah.
It's
like you have to be humble as well.
Exactly.
You know, you have to have that balance. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. There's a couple people that I wanted to mention this week.
We're giving shout outs now?
Yeah, a couple shout outs. I got my little brothers, like for one, my brother Alan, he listens to the podcast all the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give a shout out to my brother Alan. I love you. He's doing awesome. He's he's had it tough for a while, but right now he's at a point where he's working, he's learning, he's got the drive to get better.
That's great.
Which when you find that, I mean, you know, sky's the limit pretty much. So yeah, I'm proud of him. He's doing awesome.
That's
so
good.
Shout out to Alan. And then another one of our friends, one of the guys from work, Blake. I mean, he's been doing awesome.
He's a diehard.
Yeah. He's a little kooky sometimes. He's got a great personality. Like, he's fun to be around. He's always joking around.
Yeah.
But man, like he's gotten the short end of the stick for a while at work, and he was in a tough position because he doesn't want to cause a stink because he's trying to move up. He's trying to do other things. But yeah, he's been working on stuff and he's been doing really good.
Yep.
So
focus on getting better every day.
Yeah. You know? And one thing that I was talking to Blake about was he wants to get into management. You know, so for anybody that has to interview out there, something that usually comes up, just as a tip, you know, that's helped me out. Something that usually comes up at the end of an interview, a lot of times people will ask you, you know, do you have any questions for us or for me? And the last interview that I had, I took that opportunity to, you know, if you have a question, you ask it, but if I have a list of things that I want to mention, that I want to make sure that I get across to the other person, if they don't ask me a question that pertains to what I have on my list, I may not get to it, right? So, like, let's say I'm always on time. I'm dependable. I'm self-motivated. But they didn't ask me a question where I could get that out. So at the end, when they say, do you have any questions? I would just say, is it okay if I, mention a couple things before I get out of here? And then you can hit the things that you missed. But at the end, whatever your job is that you're going for, you let them know, because they hear it, the same shit from every candidate probably all the time. Oh, yeah. I've done this, I've done this, whatever. You tell them that whatever this job is, like for me in aviation, I told them, I was like, I still have a passion for what I do. If you're in the medical field, I love helping people still to this day. I've been doing this for 15 years or for 20 years, whatever the case may be. And I still have a passion for this. I still love doing it. In my case, like I told them, when I look up in the sky, like I hear airplanes, helicopters, I still, after 20 years, look in the sky to see what it is because it's fascinating. I love it. So even if you have other people that are more qualified than me, I can guarantee you that I'm more passionate about this and I understand what we do better than anybody else. And it makes it real.
Yeah. And you can use that, on a pizza joint too.
Anywhere.
Be very passionate about
Yeah.
pizza. I love it. I dream about it.
Yeah. Well, and for
that's
leadership,
good,
leadership is the same thing, because I was talking to Blake, and I was like, you're trying to get into leadership, so let them know that you feel leadership is one of the most to be a leader and have a team that is performing well under your or with you being part of their leadership is one of the most rewarding things that you can be a part of. You know, to have a high performing team and you be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's an incredible feeling, and you love it. And for when it comes to work, like, there's opportunity, even if you're not in a leadership position, there's opportunities for leadership, no matter what, everywhere. You may not even see it as one, but you just gotta take a different perspective. The way you, like, at jiu-jitsu, I mean, I'm not a coach, like, I help, but I have an opportunity, and I'm new to help out. Yeah. And you can do that everywhere. If you're at work and you have team leads, you may not be a team lead, but if you get good at what you do, become one of the best at what you do, try to learn more stuff. When you get new people, you teach them how to do what they're supposed to do. And you're not a team lead, but you're
going over and beyond.
You're getting into that leadership role. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I thought that's something that might help. Like at work, we don't have team leads in my position. Like, before, we always had a team lead, and I was a team lead. But ever since I was younger in the military, even maybe playing football, like, I was always kind of quiet. I never really talked a lot, especially playing football. Like, people, I wasn't one that talked shit and pounded on my chest or none of that shit. But when it was time to play, you know, I did pretty well.
Yeah.
And
so where do you think that came from? Because it seems like you've always had it. But where did it come from?
My dad, maybe. Because my dad, he used to fight. He was a competitor. Like, he's competitive in everything. You know, he always wants to be really good at whatever he does.
It must have came in after high school. Because in high school, you didn't give a crap about school, like doing the best, being your best, you know?
No.
So that's why I'm like, where did that come from?
Well, it's things that you care about. I didn't care about school, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I did care about football, so I did well in football. I tried to learn as much as I could, and I would try and help people with other positions when I could. You know, like, I didn't just learn my position. I would learn the positions around me, so that if they didn't know what to do, you know, I could tell him, hey, you're supposed to cover here because I'm covering over here.
Right.
You know? So, but at work, it's the same thing. You know, like, right now we don't have team leads, but we get new people all the time.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I just kind of made a decision that when we get new guys, I'll train them. Like, we all kind of train them together.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out and, like, hey, let's go get on it. And they have a book that they have to sign off, and you have to stamp it. The trainer stamps it. So my goal was always to have more stamps to train the new guys on everything. So
I wonder how you teach that. Like, you know, for someone that's not used to that, I don't know. I guess it's always just working on yourself, having that.
It
personal
starts
development.
with you.
I didn't have that, though. Like, when I was working for a law firm before Legal Shield, I would read romance novels.
Yeah.
You know? But I never knew all the information that you can pick up from a book. You know, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or, you know, Today Matters, which talks about procrastination and how that can lead you astray. You know, I don't know. I just never knew about these personal development books until I got into Legal Shield, which I feel has helped me become the person that I am today.
Yeah. One of my cousins, Tuso, Miguel, he listens to the podcast too. He said a quote like years ago that I've always remembered. I think I've told you before about procrastination. You remember it?
Mm-mm.
No?
Oh, it's a funny one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
I don't remember
procrastination's
verbatim,
like
but
masturbation. In the end, you only fuck yourself. It's true though. But I don't know. I think it has to start with you. Like, you have to want to get better all the time before you can start doing, helping other people.
You know what it is? I don't know. Having to go through challenges in your life, just getting sick and tired of being sick and tired might push someone to want more.
Yeah, like you have to.
Maybe they start the research, or maybe. I don't know.
Depend. Maybe it's different people have different reasons. But one thing, like we were talking about books right now. One thing that we learned in Legal Shield, which is pretty interesting, but like if you don't read books, you can listen to books, which is what we do for the most part, is listen to books. But somebody shared this with me one day where, like, let's say somebody takes a whole life of experiences and they put it into a book, whether it has to do with business or relationships or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you go through your whole life and you write a book right now. Well, it took your whole life of all these experiences for you to go through and learn and screw up and work it out and do all this shit so that you could write this book at, 40 years old. So you have 40 years worth of experience in this book, and it takes me, I don't know, a week or a month to read your book. Mm-hmm. Well, I just got that 40 years of your life experience in a month.
Right.
And if I do that times 12 months, times 12 books, how much can you learn? Mm-hmm. It's infinite.
I remember before I would just read whatever they would recommend.
Yeah.
Like whatever book, whoever was on stage mentioned a book, and I would read that book, but it wasn't really personal. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like I know what I'm trying to do. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And what I'm working on, like spiritually reading Battlefield of the Mind.
Yeah.
Just knowing what it is that you need and finding a book that will help you in that area. That's why they call it personal development, because it's personal. But at the beginning, I didn't know. I was just like, oh, okay. They read that book. I'm going to read that book too. you know?
Well, I think there's something that you should do is something I just started doing is you have to mix in, like, take suggestions from people, but you also have to mix in stuff that you find interesting. It doesn't have to be all personal development all the time.
Yeah.
Like, get something that interests you. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a book that I wanted to get. I think it's about, like, astronomy. Mm-hmm. And, that's not going to help me with anything, really. It's like physics and astronomy. But I thought it would be interesting. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, why not? I got a bunch of leadership books and business books or whatever. Yeah. Why not fucking throw that in there and just relax, like just listen and learn something else. Mm-hmm. Like there's that John Leguizamo show that we watched. Like that show is all based off different books that he read. And I was like, that'd be cool. Like I'd like to read some of those books. That's not going to help me, but it would still be interesting to learn.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like with the kids, when they want to buy a book, it's like, go get a book that you want to read. Yeah. That you're interested in.
Something
reading.
that they're
enjoy.
Interested in.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're going to learn. So.
Yeah. Dang. That was something I was going to say right now.
So speaking of the kids,
that's this
week. This week we were, I busted out Joey's puzzles, and we started playing with the puzzles again.
He's so cute.
And just something that I thought about. I thought about it a while ago, but a puzzle is something that's like probably ancient. I would imagine, like thousands of years ago. I'm sure they had puzzles. Yeah. Because that's like one of the oldest forms of games, I would imagine. And it's kind of nice, like today with TVs and tablets and fucking Netflix and all the other shit that's out there to distract you, to freaking get a puzzle out and do a puzzle with your kid. Yes. There's like nothing. You're not, you could put music on or whatever, but it's just you and them.
Yeah. Having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so cute. It's so cute listening to him. I was like, hey, Joe, I found the piece. And he's like, good job, Dad.
Right.
Good job. Yeah, like, yeah. He would get so excited.
So Adriana and I've been talking to you, she's getting older.
Yeah. Fast.
Yes. And it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Before you move on to that, let me mention, I also got a baseball glove because Joey's playing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing, kind of like a puzzle. I mean, baseball is old as shit, but just playing baseball, playing catch.
Mm-hmm.
No tablet, no nothing, Yeah. But yeah, so Audrey's getting older.
And we wanted to do something special for your mom.
Yeah.
And so we went out, and I don't want to say it 'cause she's going to listen to this.
Well, you could probably say it. It's not coming out till tomorrow.
But I can't say what it is.
Oh.
Her birthday's on the 11th.
We'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Okay. But while we were doing that, just spending that one-on-one time together
Yeah.
and realizing, like, we're both pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It came out really good.
Yeah.
And we both enjoyed it. And we were listening to classical music and
Yeah. It was a real
just hanging
artsy
out.
project.
It was an artsy project.
Which is perfect for you
For
and
us,
her.
yes.
Yeah.
And she wanted the whole family to do it.
Yeah.
But Joey and Miguel
We're doing a puzzle.
are doing a puzzle.
Yeah.
But that, just hearing her and watching her, and I'm like, we need to spend more quality time with her. I go every Wednesday and spend that time with her, but her friends are around, but just spending quiet time, not with music on, but just talking and seeing what's going on in her little head because she's changing quick.
Yeah. Yeah, she's getting older. I was telling you that it seemed like, to me, that she's kind of, like, she's getting to that age and she's maybe starting to kind of not push me away, but just, like, the focus or, like,
And that's
it
why
seems like she's not my little girl anymore.
Yeah.
Or at least it's starting to change.
And that's why I'm telling you, I think that you need to be more patient with her.
Yeah.
Listen to her. And when she does something that gets you upset, just kind of take a step back and ask questions. Because if you continue to be as firm as you are, you will push her away.
Yeah.
I just seen it from that one situation.
In certain cases.
Yeah. And that's why I'm here. There's good cop, bad cop. Sometimes you're going to have to be the bad cop.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm going to have to be the bad cop. But I think, just having each other's back.
Yeah. And remembering that they're still
And I did
kids.
tell her, even though that situation happened, you thought that I had her back 100%. I didn't. I had to talk with her, about what she did with Joey and how she reacted and how she was acting towards you, Yeah. So, but I think that's, especially the older they get, having each other's back and knowing that they can't turn us against each other, and siding with them versus with each other. I think that's super important when raising children. And I was going to say teenagers, but children.
She's not,
because we had a little taste of raising teenagers, when we took in my sister's children. And, that was kind of tough. That was super tough because I was like the cool aunt. I'm the one who would take them shopping.
Yeah, you went from the cool aunt to the parental figure overnight.
Yes, and that was so challenging. I remember one time I had to ground my niece, Nikki, and I was on the bed grounding her, crying with her. Like I was crying with her.
Because you didn't want to ground her?
I did not want to ground her. Like, I'm supposed to be the cool aunt. Like, this is not
I know.
fair.
She was so bad when she was with us.
No, she was.
I'm just kidding.
She was just used to being the parent.
I'm going to get a text about this weeks
Yes.
from now. She hit me up earlier in the week and started sending me texts about stuff.
Yes.
For those of you that send us messages, you got to remember, like, we've talked for 6 months now, every week.
Yeah.
So they're like, dude, you were saying something. I'm like, I did?
Oh, my God.
I said that?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember saying that.
So I'm here and I'm getting these text messages from Nikki like, oh my God, like Joey and the toothbrush. Ha 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 ha. Or she's sending me like, I know she's listening to our podcast. And I'm like, are you telling me you're barely on episode 8? No.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on 25 now.
But she's listening to them. You could tell like
funny.
she is like totally listening to all the episodes because she's sending me messages and she's like, oh my God, you guys crack me up. And it made me feel good because I guess we are kind of funny because her ass was just, laughing about.
Yeah, she had sent me something about me saying something about millennials. Like millennials don't work or something like that, which is not true. We know millennials work.
Yeah, yeah. But she's one.
And I think we talked about this. Like, I think generations, I think it's just like that. Because as people get older, they look down at the younger and it's like, what are you guys doing? Fucking around. Like, get to work, do something.
Yeah.
And I think when the millennial generation gets older, they're going to be looking at all these other kids with their avatars and their freaking tablets and holograms and all. It's like, what are you fucking kids doing?
Yeah.
Can't you just watch Netflix like we used to do back in the day? You're like in your VR headset all the time.
Right. Well, Nito made a comment the other day and I'm like, holy shit, you might be right. But he was saying, how my generation, like the millennials, they are very technology savvy.
Yeah.
Savvy.
Tech savvy,
right?
yeah.
Tech savvy. And he's like, their generation, and he's pointing to my daughter, their generation, not at all. And I'm like, why do you say that? Alexa, turn on.
You just turned
Alexa.
on. I don't know how many people's Alexa. If somebody's listening to this through speakers, their shit's going off right now.
And it's so true because what do you hear our kids saying?
Yeah.
Alexa,
yeah, no, they're
look
freaking,
up
play
why
this song.
the earth. Yeah. They're not going to know how to use shit because Alexa's doing everything for them.
We'll see.
Isn't that crazy though? Like to think about that. And I looked at her and I'm like, huh, you may have a point there.
But speaking about the podcast, this is something that I wanted to talk about. Another cool thing. I've seen this, not that we're going anywhere, but I've seen this like on you see it on YouTube or whatever, like a parent that gets sick and they're going to die or whatever. And they take all these videos for their kids in the future. Or like artists, Michael Jackson, the music anyway.
I'm like,
but no, like they say that when somebody dies, like you die twice. There's 2 deaths, right? There's when you actually die, and then the last time that anyone ever speaks of your name or thinks of you. That's the second time you die. Because at that point, you die for real. I mean, as far as the person goes, you're dead. But when nobody ever thinks or says anything about you ever again, you didn't exist, pretty much. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy to think about.
yeah, but does that ever happen?
Yes.
We talk about my sister.
Yes, but at some point...
We're not going to talk about her anymore?
Not us, but 100 years from now...
Oh.
They may not. Where Michael Jackson, his music may still be around 100 years from now. Or, just, I don't know, famous people. Like, they leave something that is around forever. And this podcast is kind of like that. This is something that may be around for, I mean, who knows what the future looks like.
Right.
But this could be around forever. Like, when we're dead, they'll be like, our great-great-great-grandparents used to do a weird TV show or internet. There may not even be TV then.
So we should probably be really careful about what we say towards or about our kids.
Nah.
This is going to haunt them forever.
No.
You have to delete that podcast about Joey.
So we're going to edit for the people that may or may not watch 100 years from now?
No, I'm saying when they get old enough, this is going to be on, and they can,
So what?
Joey,
you know what?
Is going to be knowing we're talking about.
This is the same shit for everybody.
And then we talked about him having the thing under his neck.
So what?
Talk about
You're
that?
bringing it up again. Now it's another recorded freaking... Yeah. All right.
Oh, no.
But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's this well, kind of like back to the work thing. I was listening. There's this agent. I can't remember what his name is, but I remember he was talking to this celebrity guy that he manages, and he was telling the guy he was trying out for a part. He was getting ready to go in and try out for this part, and he told him to be undeniable. He's like, be undeniable, where there's nothing that they can do. They have to give you the part. And when I was thinking about work and all the different opportunities and things that come up, like if you do enough stuff, at a certain point, it's like, well, what are we going to do? Like, this guy hits everything exactly what we're looking for. Right. You got to give it to him. You know? So, that, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it with the class that I'm taking at work right now. And then after that class, I'm planning on taking another class. This is a leadership class with MIT and, you know, with work. And then just keep working on, you know, my school or, you know, whatever. Even with the podcast, like you just keep getting better and getting better and getting better, no matter what it is.
Yeah, but what is your goal with these classes? Are you going for management?
To get into management.
Okay.
But as this podcast grows, who knows? Because I may want to do this instead.
Yeah.
Which seems to be the case. But, you know, I got to work. So if I have to work, I might as well do the best I can while I do it. You know?
Yep.
So, but anyway, you just become undeniable.
There you go. There's your tip for the day. Be undeniable.
Yeah. So.
Do something different.
Yeah. You got anything?
That's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just challenging myself. You
should challenge yourself to write some fucking notes down for the week.
Dude. They're like, why is Sonja so quiet?
Look at this.
Why is she so quiet?
You're fucking around all week. No, you were sick.
Are you kidding me?
You were sick and you've been working.
There's you were working. Dude, I've been killing it.
Yeah.
Like,
you
killing it. You know, and it's so cool because I just got like the numbers, you know, for Trust Inc. and we killed it. Like,
yeah,
we killed it. You know, and it feels good. I feel accomplished. I feel, you know, driven, inspired to do more to help others.
Yeah.
We need, by the way, if you're a notary.
Yes, that's what I was about to mention.
I'm looking for some Spanish-speaking notaries. Bilingual, you are wanted.
Even if you're not a notary, we got to think of some stuff. Because we may be able to help you get your training done. Yes. So that you can work with us or with Sonja.
Yeah. It's a hot market. There's lots of money on the table. I mean, I had to deny some.
You see, yeah, like when it comes to business, anybody that has business, like this is that creativity thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
When you're always thinking about your business, like you noticed that you called the company, right? And they told you that you're the only one that has Spanish notaries.
Yes.
And you have a couple.
Right. I'm like, oh, this is a huge
You have a couple notaries, and you're the only company that they have that has Spanish notaries.
Right.
So we start thinking like, well, what if that's our thing?
Yeah.
Like we're the one, like if everybody knows if you need a Spanish notary, you got to go to Trust Inc. or Confía en el Inc. I don't know.
Confía en Yes.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just find I don't know, when you think about it constantly, stuff comes up.
Find your niche.
Yeah.
You know? But that's an area where they need help.
Yeah.
You know? So, no, I'm feeling really good at this point with the business and with everything.
Yeah. That's good. You know? That's awesome.
And so, no, I was crazy busy. And
I know. I'm just kidding.
I went through some great experiences this past week, but I just didn't get a chance to write them down. I was at a signing.
Yeah.
And, you know, while I'm doing the signing with the parents, they have their children home. They're little. And this little girl at the end of the signing, she brought me a picture and she said, I drew this for you.
That's
and
cute.
I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, who is this? And she's like, this is you. I'm like, oh. So I have it pinned
Hanging
up
by
on
your desk.
my desk. Yeah.
That's
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that filled my heart.
Oh.
I really enjoyed doing what I do.
Yeah, that's
you
good.
know, and being able to build our schedule.
Yeah.
You know.
One thing that we did talk about was the differences between the different side of towns. You know, like, because we used to live on the other side of town.
Yes. We used to live in West Phoenix.
In West Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Keep it real out there.
Keep it real.
Hell
Keeping
yeah.
it real.
Hell yeah. Gats and vests. Yeah,
we were talking about, you want to know what we were talking about?
Well, we were talking about the roads.
Well, we were talking about the roads, but we were also, because I had to go to Costco.
Yes. Is that where it came from? Was it the
Where
samples?
it came from. I'm like, what the hell is up with these samples on the way?
Yeah, I mean,
They're like crackers and cream cheese, like crackers and jalapeno cheese, or you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I was like,
on this side of town,
I was
they
expecting to have lunch
Yeah,
during that time,
yeah.
and I'm
It's like over on this
I'm
side of
being
town
cheated.
where we live now, they have like kombucha samples at fucking Costco.
cheesecake.
Yeah, they got cheesecake, they got kombucha samples. You go to
Shrimp
the west side of
Alfredo.
town, they got horchata samples. You know, they got like little mini burritos and chimichanga.
No, babe, no. That's
just
too
kidding.
much.
No,
It was a cracker and some cream cheese. It wasn't very filling.
Yeah, but
They were like the cheapest samples.
But then we started thinking about it, and it's weird. It's like jacked up because as far as Costco goes, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
So if there's more money on this side of town, then they're gonna spend more on the samples
Yeah.
because they know that people are gonna buy more. They're like over on the other side, the Costco that we used to go to. I mean, they would have some nice bottles of liquor, but at this Costco, they have a case
Yeah.
with $10,000 bottles of liquor.
Right.
They didn't have that at the other Costco.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody's buying $10,000 bottles of anything over there.
Right. Right.
But the one thing that is weird that doesn't make sense is like the roads. Because here in our neighborhood, like we've already seen them do the roads like twice. And we've been here for what, 3 years? Mm-hmm. In our old neighborhood, there's that freaking pothole when you turn on 63rd.
It's
On 63rd Avenue
Yeah.
and Lower Buckeye,
Yep.
you got to go around the freaking pothole to get to the house. And
It'll
that
take
thing's
your
been there
tire
forever.
off. Yeah.
But what's the deal? Like, do people not pay taxes on the west side? Of
I
course
don't
they
know.
do. So what's happening?
I know we were.
You know, so
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the reason for it just being run down?
Yeah.
If it's tax money, why can't
Yeah.
they fix it? Like, they don't let that happen over here. Or I don't know if maybe this is part of the HOA that they get on the city and
No,
have them come do it.
even our public streets, they're great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
we
they're-
don't have
we
that
don't have
problem
problem
here.
Not like the other side. The other thing is like the produce at Fry's. Why is that different? Fucking apples have worms in them.
Hold up. This is going to be funny. Okay, so I love me some hills, okay? I'm not a purse kind of gal, but I love me some nice hills. And since we moved out here to Mesa, dude, I'm like, where are the hills?
Oh,
Where are
yeah.
the hills? Like
Yeah,
they
nobody
have
wears heels
nothing
out
but
here.
flats, like flats. But there is a lot of stay-at-home moms here, right?
Everybody looks like they're going to the gym.
Right.
And nobody's going to the gym. No, there's
No, our
people that
gyms
go to
are
the
pretty
gym.
packed, yeah.
But everybody looks like they're going to the gym all the time.
But there's no hills here. I'm like, what's going on? So when I went looking for the furniture,
Yeah.
I went to Scottsdale,
Yeah.
right? Because I had an
You find
appointment
heels
out
out there?
that way. And yeah. Oh my goodness. I was like in heel heaven. And I told myself, no, Sonia, walk away. We came here for furniture, not heels. But now I know where to go. But total, just opposite. Like nothing but hills, nice hills. Here, nothing but flats.
Yeah.
You know, so
Flats,
I have to
yoga
drive
pants.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
to Scottsdale to get me
To
my
get your
heels.
heels and skirts.
Yes.
Nice.
It's just different. I guess whatever the demand is, there's a higher demand here.
The demand is one thing, but the roads, the schools.
Yeah, I can't explain that.
What the hell?
I don't know. I can't explain that.
I don't know. Yeah, I get supply and demand. Businesses, it's just business. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to roads, schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And it's true.
The other thing, we were watching the show, or we didn't watch the show, but we were watching the trailer.
This is funny.
This show on Netflix. Yeah. It's called Undocumented.
It's funny, not funny.
Well, the situation was funny, but it wasn't funny. So it's undocumented, and I guess they go around following families of people that live in the U.S. undocumented.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
whatever. Right?
Yeah, I think she's a producer or something on the show. Which I thought she just did music, but apparently she does TV shows now. Mm-hmm. Or they just put her name on it.
I don't know.
To get her in. But anyway, but it's about following people that are undocumented. They're illegal in this country, and they're getting deported. So I don't know. The whole political thing, I don't really care. I understand both sides. Yeah. I'm not one of you fucking.
So we're watching this trailer.
Right. So
okay.
Yes. So anyway, I was about to start yelling at people, but so we're watching this trailer, and it's talking about how with the new presidency, they're not going after, and this is not what I'm saying. This is what they're saying. They're not going after only the drug dealers anymore and the criminals. Like, they're just going after anybody that's in this country illegally. And they're going to deport them. They're going to get rid of them. Now, you have people that have been here and working here for 10, 20 years. Mm-hmm. Some of them were brought here when they were little, and this is all they know. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't even have a family back in Mexico or wherever they're from. Right. They don't even have a home. They don't have family. They don't know anybody there. But they just are here illegally. And they're showing them getting deported. And they're showing the kids being American. They were born here. They're citizens. And their parents aren't. And they're getting deported.
Right.
And it's
sad.
Yes. So we're watching this. And you're like, this is making me sad. This is going to make me sad.
This is going to make me cry.
And I'm looking at it. And I'm starting to get angry. And I'm like, this shit's making me angry. And you start laughing. Like, we both start laughing. Because that's just kind of our personalities.
Yes. I'm going to be bawling watching that. And
I'm going to be pissed.
Throwing shit at the TV.
But how could you do that to them? You know?
We just looked at each other and started laughing. Opposites attract.
But you know what? I mean, I don't know. There's things. There is no, regardless, like this situation, left, right. The comedy show we were watching yesterday. This is the second time that we watched it, and it's great. Brian Callen, Complicated Apes, and he was talking about, one of his jokes was that there's this guy that's digging a pool. Mm-hmm. He's got a buddy who owns a business, and there's this short dude. He's like 5'4". He's like 5'4" tall and like 5 feet wide, and he's got this shovel, and he's just like shoveling, bam, like. I mean, hard work.
Yeah.
And he sees this guy, and he's
at it.
Yeah. And he sees like, man, this dude. He's like, he's like, this guy's going to town. Like, it's crazy. He's like, yeah. He's like, what is he doing? He's like, he's digging a pool. He's like, that's impossible. And he's like, yeah, it is impossible, but not for him. He'll have that done in an afternoon. You know. And what was he saying? He was saying that. I don't know how you could find people to do that or what. Anyway, but he was like, it's too bad that he's going to have to leave or something like that. Like, pretty much he was here illegally.
Yes.
And he said that he walks right up to the guy and he looks at him. He's like, so I'm sitting here face to face with this illegal alien, this dude, this illegal guy. And I'm looking at him, and it was so weird because he looked so human. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that show. I get it. Drug dealers, criminals, get them out.
Right.
But man, I mean, we're all everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You're your ancestors, like they nobody,
we're all human.
no,
we're made out of.
we all came from somewhere else, regardless. And there was people here before us, and there was people here before them. Like, you think the Native Americans were like, this is their land? Well, I'm pretty sure if you go back far enough, there may have been people before them, and they took over the land. You know, so I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't imagine, because you kind of do put yourself in like, you see them, and
Their
it's
families
like
being torn apart. They're crying. Some people are like, I don't know anybody in Mexico.
I don't know where to go.
I don't know. Yeah.
Where am I? Imagine getting freaking booted to Mexico. And you know what? With Legal Shield and being in Arizona, like, we've met a lot of people. I've met people that they're here illegally and they don't speak Spanish.
Right.
Because they've been here for so long.
Yep.
Like, their parents brought them here. They grew up here. And they don't have their papers. I mean, I don't know if maybe there should be a system that's a little bit easier, or I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all just human.
Yep. We're all the same.
And that also reminds me of, like, when you have wars, like, you look at the common people of these places. They even, like, you think of a Russian. The Russia's evil, right? They're the enemy. But if you were to go and meet just a regular Russian person, they probably want the same things that we want, right?
Yeah.
They want the best for their kids, the best for their family, and all the other stuff they're probably not too concerned about.
Nope.
You know?
Well, that all goes back to what we were talking about, being a divided nation, you know?
Yeah, we're not as different as it may seem. And nowadays, it seems like they want to make us feel like we're so much more different than, like, this group is different than that group. And it's like, yeah, we're not that different.
Right.
You know?
We're the same, but different.
Yeah. You know, that's something that reminded me of the military, because that was something that was pretty cool. In the military, you would get to know people, you work with people, and you hear their accents, so you can kind of guess where they're from, or you can ask them where they're from.
Yeah.
But you never really knew what type of person they were until you hung out with them outside of work. So, like, because at work, we're all wearing the same shit. We got uniforms on. We have the coveralls on. We all have boots on. Same haircut. Everything's the same.
Right.
And then we would get along together. What was this guy's name? I think his name was Virgil. There was this dude that I used to work with, and he was cool. Like, we got along great. And one day at work, we decided, like, hey, let's hang out after work. Why don't we go get some beer? We'll hang out and drink, listen to music. We can call some of the guys over. And we did that. Yeah. So we get out of work, and we end up meeting up. And we decided that we were going to go to Virgil's room. So we go over there. And when I walk in, this dude has, and you know me, where I grew up. So I grew up in New York City. I listen to hip-hop, rap music, you know, whatever. And I go into this dude's room. This dude's got these tighter jeans, a big fucking belt buckle, a cowboy hat, and like a fucking shirt tucked in. And I'm like, and his listening to music is fucking throwing on country.
Right.
And putting on country. But the thing is, like, I didn't know when I was at work.
Yeah.
And then we get together, and it's like, well, he's not any different now just because he's wearing a cowboy hat and fucking cowboy boots.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was like, fuck it. And you get all of us together, and we all start drinking and having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's a kid from New York and a fucking cowboy hanging out drinking.
Yep.
You know, that was something that was pretty cool about the military. Like, you just can't tell.
Yeah. The book, The New Earth from Ed Cartoli talks about how we play different roles in different situations.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go to the grocery store, you are the consumer, but playing different roles in different situations with different people. You know?
Okay.
Do you think about that? Like, you know, depending on who you're with, and this is when he started talking about the ego. Like, you will be different. And that's the one thing, like, I try not to do, like, my hardest. I want to be me, my true self, with you, with the kids, and with my clients.
Yeah.
You know, like, being authentic. Not being all sweet to the kids when we're at school while people are around, and then coming home turning into Medusa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like jujitsu.
It's the different roles. Like the different roles.
It's just like jujitsu.
You know? But he talks about being your true self, being who you are in every situation and with everyone.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That I was joking. It's just like jujitsu, because we've talked about how everything is like jujitsu.
Yeah, I ignored that comment.
I know. No, it reminds me of there's this YouTube channel that I watch. I mean, it's like the most famous family in jiu-jitsu, the Gracies. But there's this video with Henner and Hidon Gracie, but it was Hidon that was talking, and he was saying something about a parent like disciplining their kid or telling their kid something at jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. And first he kind of pulled all the parents together and he talked to them. And it was something to the effect of, like, when you talk to your kids or when you tell them something, make sure that if you're going to tell them something, make sure it's something that you would do with other people around. Because he had seen how some people would tell their kids, like, hey, you're supposed to do this, and you know, you shouldn't do that. But when the coach walks by, they're quiet. They don't say anything. It's like, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Right. You should, you know, be able to say it in front of like, if the coach walks by and the coach hears you, then the coach should be like, you know, your dad's got a point or your mom's got a point. Right. When they do this, but if you're going overboard, you wouldn't do that. I mean, you might do it to your kid, but you wouldn't do it with the coach walking by, because you know it's wrong. Right. Right. Or the way you talk to the kids, it's like, that, you know, example I gave, you know, being at school, you know, visiting, talking to the teachers and being one way while you're there and then a different way when you're home, you know? Like, if you're going to slap your kid at home, slap your kid at the store. No. Exactly. And that is what we support here at Opposites Attract Podcast, is beating your kids at the store, at Walmart. When they get out of line, just give them a quick one. A hot one is what I like to call it, because that's what they feel. They feel this hot, stinging sensation. I've given the kids, like, I haven't done it in forever, but I remember with Joey. You guys have all seen it. You guys have all seen it when, like, a kid fucking loses their shit at the store and they're just going crazy. Oh my God. I remember one time Joey was just being a handful and I couldn't take it anymore. And I freaking just went whap and just flicked him as hard as I could right in his forehead. And I was so pissed, by the way. And he stopped for a second and he's like, I just started screaming. I'm like, dude, chill. He was like, what the hell was that? He had no idea what hit him. It's almost like getting kicked in the nuts. Oh, like, my God. Like, he was in shock for a second, didn't know what was going on, and then he freaking freaked. Oh, no. So I think that was the last time he did that. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I don't think I've done it since. I was pissed. I was like, that backfired quick. But he did stop after a second. Well, of course. But, he just flicked my baby in his forehead. So anyway, I think that's how we're going to end this podcast. Make sure you guys flick your child, flick your kids, give them a whooping, and tell them that Opposites Attract Podcast said to do it. Oh, no. So beat your kids. We love you guys. Make sure you go to oppositesattractpod.com to check out the show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us more thumbs up and thumbs down. Leave us some shitty comments if you want, because we don't give a shit. We're going to keep doing it. And I guess we will talk to you guys next week. Next week we'll have my mom on. Yes. Love you guys. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Bye.